أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا. Good evening to all. Lately I uploaded a three-part video on the Malay seafarers during the maritime period, how they played an important role. And I want to add this. Today's one will be a very short one, within 5 minutes. I just want to talk to you about the role of the Malay seafarers again, because lately there's been some issue about Malays, shipbuilding, and all that. Now, in academia, there must be arguments. There must be some people putting on certain proposals. There must be counter proposals. There must be discussions, arguments. So this is healthy. But I don't think there should be outright condemnation, ridiculing, media lynching. This is not academia. Everybody has a right to say, but if the person is wrong, it must be countered. Now, as a member of the ethical committee of University Science Malaysia, I feel it is I'm duty bound to bring some of my opinions, because I've done a lot of research on the Malay seafarers, about the maritime trade, about Silk Road and all that. Now let's go to, because it's not going to be a long one. I have to cut up. I have to be as fast as possible. Now, see, what happens is, there were about 2000 years ago, there were two important trading routes. One, as I mentioned earlier, was the overland route, which is known as the Silk Route or Silk Road, starting from China, that is Beijing or Peking at that time, then across Asia, right to Rome. That was the first route, but that one did not involve the Malay Peninsula or Southeast Asia, because it was too far upward. And subsequently, due to certain reasons which I had uploaded in my earlier videos, they looked towards the sea, and then the maritime trade took over. It became very good, very luxurious trading, and it was very active. And when you talk about maritime, Southeast Asia began to play a very important link between China, India, Middle East, and Rome. So the Southeast Asians played a chain where they played a very important role, because they were controlling this area. They were the ones responsible for the spice trade, and the Straits of Malacca was a very important linkage then as it is now. Let's just take an example. Somebody takes over the Straits of Malacca. Immediately tomorrow, Trump will come for war with that person. That important the Straits of Malacca is. So what happens is, the Malay seafarers, you see, if you take the Malay Peninsula, you take Indonesia, you take Philippines, these are all called thalassocracies. That means they are bound by water, they depend upon water for their survival and everything. So the transport, the communication for them were the boats. So the Malays of Srivijaya especially, and the Malay Peninsula or the Philippines, very good at boat building. They had a lot of different kinds of ships. They traveled as far as China to pay homage to the Tung and the Sung dynasty emperors, because they needed protection, because Thailand was the other problem for them, which was attacking places like the northern part, Takwapa, Panga, Bay of Panga and all that. They were coming from there. And then they were trading with India. They were trading with the Middle East, so they are very good seafarers. You can't use small boats to go to China. So they were very good seafarers. You can say that they built boats, bigger boats, and then they took the technology which they saw. For instance, first, they don't use nails. Then they use the tying, using all this cotton, the cloth, and they were able to build very good ships. The Malays of Southeast Asia, especially during the Srivijayan period, were very good seafarers. They used all kinds of ships, so you cannot deny fact. History must be fair to them. They built ships, they traveled the ships as far as Madagascar. So I feel it's not fair to look down upon the Malay community and say as though the Chinese, the Indians, the Romans, they were good at that, and then the Malays were not. The Malays built a lot of ships. They were good seafarers, and they traded with many of the countries in this region. So just to emphasize my point, that you must not be unfair to history. So saya sudahi dengan wabillahi wa taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nandri, வணக்கம்.